Hello, welcome back to my channel, Learning with Omi. And today we have a delicious read on the T-Rex. An old relative of the Tyrannosaurus Rex sparks new questions about the dinosaur's origins. Researchers say they have identified a new species of Tyrannosaurus Rex, or Tyrannosaurus, that traces the dinosaur's lineage to North America much earlier than previously thought, and could shed new light on the murky origins of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. So what's going on is there was a fossil that was discovered, maybe a partial skull, maybe 40 years ago, and they presumed it to be a T-Rex because that is what it looked the most similar to. So there's a few paleontologists that were studying the skull and decided it should be reevaluated because they were noticing so many morphological differences or anatomical differences that are not commonplace for a T-Rex, and that led them to believe it is an entirely new species. Well, it's still a Tyrannosaurus or a Tyrannosaur, but they are thinking it's not a Rex. The Tyrannosaurus is no stranger to debate. There's been so many papers and research that's come out about them. At one point, there was a research paper that proposed the Tyrannosaurus be split into three distinct species. And this was quickly shot down and dismissed because, for one, the evidence that they had did not fully support the claim. And it was based on simple variations that can occur in any species. So for example, something would be like a tooth was rotated, 40 degrees, and typically we see them at 60 degrees. That doesn't mean it's a new species. That tooth, maybe something happened to the tooth. I don't know. So that was quickly shot down as an option that's not exactly relevant to this particular article, but I thought it would be interesting to know that this has definitely happened a few times. And let me continue with this. Oh, and there's also a debate about the T-Rex, the juveniles, if those should be an entirely different species. Debates, debates, debates. But let's get into this one. Okay, researchers say they have identified a new species of Tyrannosaurus that traces, I've already said that. So apparently is traced maybe 5 to 7 million years prior to the T-Rex being discovered, like as far as remains. So they're assuming it's well, not assuming, but that's part of their reasoning for why it should be a distinct species, because it's not only found 7 million years, 6, 7 million years predating the T-Rex, but is also located, or the remains were located in an area that is not common to find T-Rex remains. So that's an aspect as well. And it's a T, I'm definitely going to butcher this because I've heard several pronunciations of it, but the Tyrannosaurus Mcraeensis. Mcraeensis. I'm going to call it Mcraeensis. The discovery was a result of a study of an incomplete skull and jaw fossils that were collected in southern New Mexico in the 1980s, which are on display at the New Mexico Museum of Natural History Science. We thought it was anatomically different enough that it deserved to be a new species, said paleontologist Spencer Lucas, a co-author of the study and curator of the paleontology at the museum. So again, it's not just one aspect that they discovered is different, it's several. There are several markers that help us determine what was potentially a T-Rex. And when they were looking at, let's say, 4 different markers, every single one of them were different from every single species of T-Rex, like a variation. So could that be a new species? I'm not a paleontologist, I don't know, but I think it's worth exploring. Let's continue. The previously unknown species had a longer, shallower, looser jaw than its cousin, so a slimmer jaw, indicating a less forceful bite. The New Mexican fossils also lack ridges behind the eyes, which is a distinct feature of the T. rex. The paleontologist says would have allowed the animal to recognize members of their own species. The newly identified tyrannosaur is said to predate the T. rex by about 6 to 7 million years and rivals it in size at about 40 feet long. That's huge. I believe a T. rex is 12 feet tall. I could be wrong, but that's freaking huge. I believe the T. rex is 12 feet tall and maybe 40 feet long and 8 tons. Again, I'm not an expert. I found this article today. I thought it was interesting. So this adds new questions to the ongoing debate about the origins of the T. rex. The T. rex appeared in North America as far back as 68 million years ago. Its fossils are popping up in modern-day Montana and Wyoming. Until now, no close species or relatives of this species has been recognized in North America. Okay, the T. Mcraeensis is up to 73 million years old. The fossils suggest something different might have been going on. But again, even with this discovery, there are people that are on the other side of this debate, and they strongly disagree with this. Some in the field are skeptical of the paper's finding, and they hesitate to regard it as being distinct from the Tyrannosaurus rex. Some say that, and this was from a different article I had read, but it's possible that these variations could occur over time. Again, this is 7 million years predating the T. rex. It's also possible that the dinosaur could have migrated and that could create some differences. But until there's new information, this is what they have. I'm not sure if it's distinct enough to qualify as a new species. But maybe you know, and you can leave a comment at the end. But that's all I have for today. And I hope you found that interesting and you learned something.